Well, it is the Friday before the Final Four, and we're hanging out here in Indianapolis on college basketball coast to coast on the social media platforms. And whether you're watching us live or later on demand, or maybe you're just hearing us on podcast or the TuneIn streaming app as we rock on here from Indianapolis all weekend, great to have you with us. We are ready for the Final Four to play out and crown a 2026 national champion as Illinois plays UConn, Arizona plays Michigan in the two semifinals on Saturday here in the heartland of America. I am merely the somewhat capable host, TJ Rives. Hello, Tyler Jones. Great to be with you. We've had a busy Friday over at the practices not far from where we're sitting at Lucas Oil Stadium to watch Illinois, UConn, Michigan, and Arizona work out. Great to be with you. Give me some thoughts as we get things underway here on the Friday of Final Four weekend.
It is good to be with you, TJ, as I am attending my fifth Final Four ever, fourth straight with you and the team here at TuneIn Radio's College Basketball Coast to Coast. But what an exciting time as we have four outstanding teams vying for this national title. You look at UConn, they've been here now 3 of the last 4 years. Illinois and Brad Underwood, Brad's first appearance in the Final Four. Dusty May in Michigan, they've been outstanding all season long, as has Tommy Lloyd and his Arizona team. I think we're setting up for two fantastic matchups for Saturday, ultimately ending with that national title on Monday, and should be a fantastic weekend of basketball right here from Indy.
Well, you know what? We have some breaking news here on the program. People may have seen this online this afternoon, but Tommy Lloyd did not waste any time. The Arizona coach came into the media room with reports swirling, would he be the North Carolina coach? He said, you know what? I'm not going anywhere. He didn't do the Leonardo DiCaprio in that Wolf of Wall Street movie, the I'm not bleeping leaving. He didn't do that. He didn't go that far with that speech. However, he did get a new contract, a raise, an extension, and he's staying in Arizona. So he quelled all the North Carolina talk before they even play and maybe win the semifinal game, and the leverage would go up even more. What are your thoughts on that breaking news here from the Final Four?
I think that it's outstanding for this Arizona team to have such a relief knowing that their head coach is not going anywhere. And even if, let's say, that Tommy was going to stay the entire time, just the fact that you bury this before the game starts so it isn't a distraction, you don't have the players wondering where they're going to potentially go next. They know their head coach is coming back. So this is a big deal to get this taken care of. And for Tommy Lloyd, it makes a ton of sense to return to Arizona. They're paying him a pretty good amount of money, about $7+ million beginning next year. He doesn't have to report to the AD anymore that he was, according to reports, had some conflicts with. So this is a big win. This Arizona program is ascending the right direction. Tommy Lloyd's done a fantastic job since taking over, and they've been a natural fit in the Big 12 Conference, the nation's best basketball conference. So very happy for Tommy Lloyd to get this taken care of. And now they can go out there. They can focus on basketball, no distractions, go forward with trying to win this national championship here from Indianapolis.
Interesting that you had a Big 12 source say to you, hey, from what we understand, he really doesn't like it in Tucson that much. The North Carolina is a blue blood. The appeal of that is obviously big. All of that, though, ultimately is out the window if you get what you want. And a lot of times these coaches are using the negotiating of a new job to get more of what they want at this job. Probably got more NIL money as well as more assistant money, more commitment to be able to spend. So it's a win all the way around if you're an Arizona fan. And this is before they ever even play the game coming up. It really makes you wonder. We're talking carousel just for a second, then we're going to get into the games here live from Indianapolis. It makes you wonder if North Carolina's not in scramble mode, or does Tommy Lloyd know that Billy Donovan's going to get this job when the NBA season's over, when the Bulls season is over? What do you make of that aspect, that maybe he understood, I'm one of two. They maybe want to hire Billy Donovan first. I'll go ahead and take the bird in the hand. I'll take the contract raise. I'll stay in Tucson.
Yeah, he's got a good thing going in Tucson right now. There is not a reason for him to leave at the moment. And you think about this with the situation. The idea was, reports from front office sports within the last week or so, was that this roster was about a $23 million roster. And that wasn't quite good enough to get to what Tommy Lloyd was looking for and what the potential money was out there at places like North Carolina and others. So now you got more money coming in to pay those players, more for your assistants, more for yourself. You're already got exactly what you want in this Arizona program. To me, like, all the pieces are there to keep this good thing going. And for North Carolina as well, if you're Tommy Lloyd, there's going to be other opportunities down the road. You don't have to leave right now. You can run it back with these guys next year if whoever comes back and see where this thing goes. You think about the Kansas job is probably going to be open in the next year or so. His name's going to be mentioned for that. So I think that you enjoy the opportunity that you have right now, and then if things change or if you want to change the scenery, that door is still going to be open down the line. So I think it's right for him to stay now. North Carolina, still a fantastic job. Bubba Cunningham, their AD, he's been there a long time. They spent a lot of money on Bill Belichick, but they're still a basketball program first. I think they tried for Billy Donovan, but there's plenty of good coaches out there. Why not look around, give like Ben McCollum a call at Iowa or Fred Hoiberg at Nebraska. There's plenty of great coaches that could still get that job.
All right, so there's the coaching news from Indianapolis. Want to tell you here, we're going to hear from some players for Illinois and UConn coming up straight ahead. That's semifinal number 1, just after 6 Eastern time from Indy on Saturday night. Semifinal number 2 is Tommy Lloyd's Arizona team against Dusty May and his Michigan Wolverines. We'll hear from some of those players. Tyler's been hustling. We've been hustling over at Lucas Oil Stadium. You're going to hear from those guys coming up. Also, in a little bit, we're going to hear from one of our sponsors, Go Sleeves. Here, Darren Lancaster, one of the co-founders of Go Sleeves. Look forward to having him on and talk a little bit about this. Let's get into it, though, a little bit, you and I, for this matchup with Illinois and UConn. You're great to speak to this. Illinois in the Final Four for the first time since 2005. Bruce Weber, D. Brown, Darren Williams, that group. You were like in grade school, I think, at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do remember the Bruce Weber team.
But it was vaguely because you were like learning handwriting and arithmetic.
In St. Louis, they had a fantastic regular season that year. I was watching college basketball at a very young age.
I understand.
I still remember Carmelo Anthony beating my
Jayhawks in a couple years earlier.
Yes, beating Kirk Heinrich.
All right, so Illinois back, and then you've got UConn here for the third time in 4 games. So that's 4 years. That's the storyline with them going for a third national championship. By the way, you got to go back to John Wooden, UCLA. Hello, on the last program to win 3 national titles in 4 years, when they won like 8 in a row or 9 in a row back in the 60s. So that's what's at stake in game number 1. Again, for the audience, we were over at Lucas Oil Stadium at the open to the public practices and the locker room and the media sessions that were going on. So we're going to play a couple of interviews that you had, but just size up the matchup. You were with Illinois in Houston and saw them knock off the Cougars and then knock off Iowa, their Big Ten fellow team, to win the South Regional. Give me a little more on Illinois.
I look at this Illinois team, and they have terrific size. When you talk about Tommy and David, these Europeans that they brought over. And by the way, that's a fantastic story in itself. That Jokic's agent is been assembling players to come to Illinois, and the thing with that, the players didn't even visit Illinois. And what was brought up was basically like, hey, if you have everything we're looking for, why do we even need to come visit there? And here they are. They all come together. And Brad Underwood, for years, has been a defensive guy. You go back to his days at Oklahoma State and Stephen F. Austin. But their identity has been their scoring and their offense, the way that they run things through their bigs. And yet what we saw in Houston was their best defensive performance that they've played all season long, with what they did against the Houston Cougars and then against the Iowa Hawkeyes. This looks like a complete team, and they're playing their best basketball of the year right now. But they're going to have their fans full with this UConn team, because you look at UConn and every other team remaining, everybody has bigs and everybody has guards that's left in this. And so Illinois, have they potentially met their match? Maybe so.
All right, interesting that a little earlier in the Illinois locker room, you caught up with one of their stars. We got in on the scrum with Keaton Wagler, their outstanding freshman, had a 45-point game earlier this year, one of their best scores. And we should mention these teams, Illinois and UConn, did play in November in the Jimmy V Classic at Madison Square Garden. Wagler only took 3 shots in the game as a freshman, only scored 3 points because it was all the way back in November. Big man Terrace Reed had an ankle injury, didn't play a lot, only scored, I think, 4 points in the game. UConn won the game, but Wagler is now a different player, real quick, before we go to your interview.
Yeah, he's come a long ways. He's a lot better than what he was previously. He's averaging close to 18 points a game right now, 5 rebounds, 4.3 steals. Keaton's been fantastic. And I think that if you're Illinois, you are going to need a Herculean effort from him if they are going to be able to beat UConn, if they're going to have any chance this weekend. He has to go off. It starts with him and then everyone else after that.
All right. Speaking of Keaton Wagler, this was he earlier in the day on this Friday in Indianapolis with the media, and Tyler even squeezes in a question or two. We go to that now here on College Basketball Coast to Coast.
I have some friends and family here, a decent amount. It'll be cool to have them out for this game.
You only played 14 minutes in that first game. Does that just seem like a lifetime ago, that kind of game, how much this team has changed?
Yeah, it does feel like a really long time ago. And yeah, I think both teams have changed a lot. We changed a lot of stuff offensively and defensively. And I think that, if we do what we've been doing this tournament, we'll be in a good spot.
And what do you think's changed since the tournament? Defense has been locked down. What do you think's been the biggest change since February last year?
Yeah, you said it. It was our defense. We knew that if we wanted to win and make a run, that we'd come down to our defense. So we've been really focused and locked in on that side.
You maybe already been asked this, but what's this whole thing like?
Yeah, it's awesome. A lot of fun. All the stuff that we're being able to get. It's been amazing to have all this, and I'm just blessed for the experience.
What stands out about this?
Yeah, they're going to be physical. They're a team that won't go away. They're going to fight. They're going to rebound the ball. Really good offensively and defensively, so we know we're going to be in our A game.
That is Keaton Wagler earlier. And again, he's going to be one of the keys in this. Over to the UConn side of the ball, though, they have veterans. They have a veteran guard in Solo Ball, another veteran guard in Silas Demery. That's not the only key, but the guard matchups like you were talking about earlier. Let's segue to UConn. Veteran guys that'll be ready for this freshman, for his running mate Stojakovic, etc.
Oh, yes. Veterans galore for this UConn team. And I think they match up very well with this Illinois bunch. And you look at what they're able to do in a variety of different ways, whether it's inside with Caravan and Reed or going to their guards like Ball and Mullins and others. They have guys that can score from different points of attack. And that's what makes them so dangerous and so tough to game plan for. And you mentioned the previous matchup when they beat Illinois back on November 28th, 74-61. Two totally different teams between now and then. I know we talk about Illinois, and Keaton Wagler didn't play much in that game. Well, UConn, I think, is a much better team now than they were back then, too. And so I think Illinois' got to take that into account, that any notes that you have from that matchup earlier in the year, I think those go out the window here. And we're going to catch up in just a moment, bring you an interview here from earlier today. But I got to tell you, from looking at this UConn team, they look the part of if there's going to be anybody that can take down Michigan or Arizona, I think UConn's got the better chance between them and in Illinois here with how well they're playing right now.
Interesting, they did take down Duke. Although they had some problems at the end of the year. We'll get into that as the weekend unfolds with the loss at Marquette, who had a losing record, the loss to St. John's in the Big East title game. Let us not forget. Right. And they were down by 19 in the first half, 15 at the half to Duke, and had to come back for that. But they did storm back, as you see there on the screen, and they're here for the third time in 4 years. You cannot undersell the experience factor of Danny Hurley, his coaching staff, and he's got a couple of holdover members in Ball and Caravan here on this team that have been through this and have won a national championship. So speaking of a little more of UConn, let's go to your conversation with a guy that could be an X factor, a kid from the Bronx, New York, Malachi Smith, a transfer from Dayton, from the University of Dayton, transferring into UConn for one final year after being a 4-year player at Dayton. You were with him earlier today.
Yeah, he's from Ari Russell territory.
That's correct.
They're in the Bronx. But Malachi, very impressive young man. Long road for him to go from Dayton to end up here at UConn. And we got the chance to talk to him about his Final Four experience, his expectations. And I think this is a guy that we could be talking about as being that X factor. If you're winning championships at this level, you have to have guys that maybe don't step up all the time. Malachi might be the difference maker for this team.
Maybe. All right, we'll go to that conversation from earlier this afternoon here in Indianapolis now.
Had Malachi Smith here at the Final Four. Malachi, tell me about the Final Four experience.
Imagine, the media, I feel like I'm living in a dream right now.
Tell me about your journey going from Dayton now here to UConn. How rewarding is this?
Oh, it just shows, it's very rewarding for me. It feels like my hard work is finally paying off. All the sacrifices I've done with surgeries and doing the rehab, all of that, so I feel like it's paying off. And now we're in the Final Four. It took me 5 years to get to the to the NCAA tournament, and now we're here, and I'm in the Final Four.
What's it going to take to beat this Illinois team? What stands out to you about them?
I think we have to guard them pretty well. I mean, they're the number one offense in the country, and they offensive rebound pretty well. So I think if we limit them off the rebounding and try to slow their shooters down, they have shooters everywhere. But if we slow them down, I think we have a good chance of winning.
What's kind of the confidence level with this team right now entering the Final Four?
I think we just beat Duke, so I think we're excited. I mean, we know we've been capable of. We had a couple losses this year, but I think we took good lessons from that. In the beginning of the season, we had great wins over the top ranked teams in the country. So, all the work we've done is for this moment right here.
Did you have a lot of family make this trip? How big is it for them, for you to be on this stage?
Oh, it's big for them. They've been with me the whole time throughout my career, not even college, just 8 and under AAU and stuff like that. And I had a lot of family coming, a lot of my high school coaches coming. So it's definitely exciting for them. They're excited. They're probably more excited than me. So I'm just happy they can see it.
Malachi, appreciate the time. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Malachi Smith there earlier, having a little technical fun with all of this. We're making it work, my friend. He had 12 points in the win over Duke, a 9-point game in the in the regional semifinal over Michigan State, the Sweet 16 game. Maybe he is an X factor with all the talk about ball with Braylon Mullins, the hero. Mullins has not shot it well in the Big East tournament or in the NCAA tournament, except for the one that mattered, the three-pointer at the end of the game. Maybe that guy that we just heard from is an X factor for Danny Hurley.
And you look at the way Danny does this. He is more traditional when it comes to his rotations in postseason play compared to maybe some other coaches, of shortening his bench to 7 or 8, not playing a ton of guys. And so you look at Malachi, there's a lot of trust established there from Dan Hurley to make him one of those guys in the rotation to still get quality playing time and minutes. And if somebody gets in foul trouble early, watch out. There could be a big opportunity for him ahead.
Love it. There's Tyler Jones. I'm merely TJ Rives. We're live on this Friday from Indianapolis on the site of the 2026 Men's Final Four. Illinois, UConn will be game 1. We'll talk more, Tyler, about Arizona and Michigan coming up in a couple of moments. Stand by for that as we rock on here live. We want to talk more about one of our sponsors. Let's do that right now. I love this guy for a lot of different reasons, including the Hoops Insight. Let's say hello to the co-founder of GoSleeves.com. One of our sponsors here on college basketball coast to coast. Hello, Darren Lancaster, as you join us. You got to let me know where you are in the West. I know you're in the West while we're here in the heartland of America. Great to have you with us on this Friday of Final Four weekend. How are things? Where are you here getting ready for the weekend?
It's good, my friend. Northwest Montana. We are still enjoying winter here for one more day. Apparently, it's coming down. So, yeah, before watching hoops tomorrow, I'm going to get up one last day on the hills, on the ski hills.
Love it.
Yeah, that's our
Love
life
it.
out here.
We're going to talk more about Ghost Sleeves in a couple of moments, but you're a big hoop guy like I am. We appreciate your support of what we're doing. What do you make of this Final Four with Illinois playing UConn off that miracle final few seconds to beat Duke? And then the two Goliaths, you're a Western guy, Arizona. Can they finally get it done for the first time since 97? Or Michigan, the Big Ten powerhouse that's been on the doorstep a couple of times in this century, not been able to win the title game. What do you think of this Final Four with these four brand names?
I'm got to go to the wire. I got to go to the end. I got to stick with the Cats this time, which is this is a first. This is the first time I've taken them all the way to the finish line. This is no hot take, but it seems like the game tomorrow is kind of feels like the championship. But I mean, UConn's UConn, so you never know. But I love the structure of Arizona. I think almost both games for me, it's like, who's going to win, the structure or the chaos team, right? You got two structure teams and two sort of chaos teams. And so we'll see what can happen. But I love this Michigan-Arizona game. It's going to be so fun.
Oh, it will be. A lot of people think it might be the de facto championship game like you referenced. How big of an advantage, in your opinion, is Danny Hurley having won 2 national titles with his staff, having been here and won it all twice before? How big an advantage do you think that is?
I me not being a basketball coach, I wouldn't know, but I gotta say, like, the guys, like his record. I mean, you guys talked about, like, in the Sweet 16 and beyond, has he lost? Or what's his record?
He is not. Correct.
Yeah. So, you're the other coach on the other side going up against that. that doesn't get in your head much, right? And especially with Arizona's track record. So if it's a UConn Arizona thing, maybe that's the intangible that, helps UConn get it done. So can't bet against UConn, but man, Arizona's like their structure, their balance, everybody's got inside outside play. It seems like, of all 4 teams, right? Strong down the middle, strong down low, great guard play, but man, Arizona's structure looks really, really good.
Sure. Here's the Danny Hurley stat that we had from earlier: 17-3 in 20 NCAA tournament games. As I like to joke, I went to public school, but even I know that's 85% on the winning percentage. They've been really good, and when they've gotten to this level, they've won it. They'll have a tough task with Illinois. Listen, we love having you here to talk about, obviously, Ghost Sleeves, and you've been great with us here over the last couple of years to talk about these therapeutic sleeves for the knees, for the elbows, for the calves, etc. We're showing the video audience right now your product, as they are great for the knee, for the elbow, and they do several things, don't they, Darren? The kinesiology technology and the strips that you have inside of these help with blood flow. They help, therefore, with soreness and with recovery. As we look at it again with the video, if you are a runner, a biker, a pickleball player, a tennis player, basketball, golf, whatever, pick it up on this. These therapeutic sleeves are tremendous in terms of helping you recover. Correct?
Correct. Yeah, this is really, when you look at sleeves and you see people in sleeves, you think it's a Band-Aid. I'm dealing with something that's a problem, right? But because we've built in kinesiology tape, so look at these guys out on the floor, and they've got the tape on their bodies. That kinesiology tape is highly therapeutic, but it's very difficult to use. So because we've built that same mechanism into our sleeves, you're not putting on a compression sleeve, you're putting on a kinesiology sleeve, whole different ballgame. So, yep, definitely a better Band-Aid than any other sleeves that are out there for dealing with pain, dealing with injuries. But really, the idea is movement care. So anytime that your body, you get out there and you hit it hard and your body is breaking down, it's building up inflammation, tightness, fatigue. Basically,
my hand is up.
I know.
I qualify for all of those, as we're at an advanced age, right? We qualify on your body is sore, your body's tightened up, needs to get loosened up. This is going to help with that. Keep going.
So TJ, when you get out there and hit it hard on the court, my friend, and you get that tightness and fatigue, if you don't get it out of the body each and every day, well, then tomorrow we may not be able to get you hanging on the rim again, right? So when
forget about hanging on the rim, can I get out of bed? Can I get on the court at all? Yeah, we love that.
Sir. So certainly the top end athletes, they're gonna experience better performance. But I mean, those of us sort of weekenders, if you will, it's just about staying in the game. And if you don't take care of the body, sort of like brushing and flossing our teeth, right? We do that every day for oral hygiene. We just know it's a good idea. So what are you doing every day for your body when you take it out for a beating? What are you doing to help it recover and be ready to go the next day? So these sleeves are about not just being on the court and playing hard and taking care of the body and minimizing fatigue and inflammation, but it's afterwards and really about a proper full recovery. So brush your teeth, wear your Go sleeves every night.
And you see, obviously, that they're good for the knees, but also this is good for the elbows, tennis, pickleball, right, Darren, as well as golf, etc. The kinesiology sleeves can help there too, because a lot of people, especially in the pickleball world right now, not just their knees, they get a little pickleball elbow, if we want to call it that. This is great for it with Go sleeves, right?
Tennis elbow, but hey, man, don't sleep on the calf sleeves. So for pickleball, right? So the calf sleeves target your calf muscle, your Achilles, and your shin splints. And so many people are falling in love with pickleball, and they play themselves into injuries because they overextend their bodies past what they can do. So when you're playing in the calf sleeves and you're using the elbow sleeves to recover, it's essentially just adding on an insurance policy. Look, the goal is playing time. The goal is to keep moving. The goal is to stay in the game. So whatever it takes to stay in the game, that's what it's about. And that's why we built these.
Again, Go sleeves and all of the technology, go to gosleeves.com. We've even got a promo code for you. Use the promo code TJ. You can take 10% off, or actually 15% off, excuse me. Get 15% off these therapeutic sleeves that are going to help you with recovery, help you with the soreness. Gosleeves.com, promo code TJ. Should be simple enough to remember. These events are something else. To be around a Final Four, not unlike the Super Bowl, not unlike the World Series, etc. It's just different, right? Especially in the one-game scenario. Like Duke thought they were going to be back here in the Final Four like they were a year ago, and bam, with what happens in the final minute and the final seconds, they're not here. It can be over with that quickly. That's part of why we love March, right? And the drama and the one-game drama, right, Darren? One more time.
100%. I mean, it's one of the reasons I do like Arizona, and UConn as well. But you kind of, for me anyway, it felt like Duke gave it away more than UConn won it. I mean, they had to hit their shots and turn things around. They started out really slow, but you look at Arizona and Michigan, they don't feel like teams that are going to play themselves out of the game. It feels like, they're going to kind of stick to the system and the structure. And
sure,
Duke though, boy, the kids, I mean, look at the experience, right? The kids just kind of threw it away in the end. So I don't see that happening with either Duke, Michigan, or UConn. It feels like they've got the experience to any three of them. But I gotta hang with my cats. I feel like they're due. They're finally going to get it done.
Has not been a Western national champion since Arizona in '97. That is hard to believe. Last century. That is hard to believe. We'll see if Arizona can get it. Got to get through, obviously, first being able to win in this matchup with Michigan on Saturday night. Darren, you did great. We want them to go to gosleeves.com. We want them to use that promo code. It is go time at Go Sleeves. Anything else in closing? Great product for the knees, the elbows, the calves with Go Sleeves. Did I leave anything else out?
You hit it. Let's just say, take care of your body, stay on it. You respect your body, keep moving, never stop moving. And any questions, just hit us up. We get questions all the time from people wanting to know how to use them in the most effective way. Hit us up on our website, and we're happy to answer those questions. So
love it.
Thank you, TJ. Appreciate you.
Got the FAQ up there on the website to find out more for the knees, your knees, your elbows in particular. Well, thank you. It's go time.
Yes, sir.
with Ghost Leaves. Darren Lancaster, thank you. Great stuff on Final Four Friday. If you will let me bother you, can I bother you when we have a national championship matchup and we'll
Let's
get
do
a
it.
thought and a prediction? Let's do that again off the weekend.
After
Thank you.
let's get 3 really good games in this time,
Yeah,
right?
we need
Like
that.
let's
We
close
want that.
strong.
My
Yeah.
friend, happy Easter weekend too. Enjoy Montana. Enjoy the temporary warmth before you're back on the slopes. We got the hot basketball in the heartland of America. Thank you, Darren Lancaster. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
We'll see you later. There he goes. Tyler Jones. Love that with Ghost Leaves. We bring it back to you and me, and we haven't talked nearly enough about what he was mentioning with Arizona and this matchup with Michigan. It's going to segue into you talking to a couple of players earlier in the day here on this Friday. Let's talk Wolverines, who have not been in the Final Four since 2018. Or actually, they yes, have not been in the Final Four since 2018. They got 2021. No, actually, 2018 is correct. 2018 is the last time they were in the national championship, Elite Eight in 2021 for that year. Have not won the national title since 1989. I don't want to be insulted and know if your parents had met yet in 1989. I don't know if they had.
They had, but they were just friends. They weren't together at that.
So that's what's at stake for Michigan. As we mentioned, Arizona going back to 1997. But these are two heavyweights. You come right in. Do you believe this is the de facto title game, or is that an insult to UConn and Illinois? Too much of an insult.
I believe that this is the NFC Championship on repeat between the Seahawks and the Rams all over again. This is the real national championship game between Arizona and Michigan. These are the two best teams in the country. They've played like it. They're complete teams. They have the bigs. They have the guards. Yaxel Lindenberg has been fantastic this season. He is going to be so tough to stop for Arizona and whoever potentially plays them in the national championship should they get there. He's averaging 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists along with a steal and a block. He does it all. He is going to be a problem to deal with. But with Arizona, when you're scouting this team, that's difficult to prepare for because where do you start? Do you go with Braden Burries, who's averaging 16 points a game? What about the Big 12 Player of the Year and Jaden Bradley, who has been so good this season? He went into the tournament with a bit of a hand injury, but it looks like he's overcome that he's good to go. 13 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 4.4 steals. Their bigs are good. Ivan, Rives as well. I mean, these guys are so tough to handle. I think we're due for a fantastic game that comes down right to the very end.
Okay, so as we mentioned, as we do this live from Indianapolis, you were right there with a couple of different members of the Arizona and Michigan matchup. Since you were talking about Arizona and having been with them and having watched them defeat Houston in the Big 12 title game, and now they have gone on to actually at rally with Purdue. They were down at halftime by 7 against Purdue. They came from behind and obviously won that game. Let's get some more from a first-person perspective from Toby Awaka, one of the big guys for Arizona. Luckily, he was seated for you because you didn't have to, hold the mic up much higher. So that was a good thing. Let's go to that conversation on this Final Four Friday right now with a member of the Arizona players here that get ready to do this game Saturday night, this 1 seed versus 1 seed matchup with Michigan.
Our coverage here at the Final Four alongside the man himself, Toby, with this Arizona team. How excited are you to be here?
Super excited. Whenever you can make a Final Four, it means a lot, not just for us and the team, but also just for the city of Tucson and what they mean for us.
Tell me about this team. What makes you guys special?
I think it's just the character and the identity that we have on this team. I think it's a great combination of guys, ranging from, obviously the team to the coaching staff to the support staff. And I think that whenever you bring that together as a whole, great things can happen.
This journey that you're a part of here, does it feel fulfilling to be here in this moment?
Yeah, for sure. I think, whenever, even as a little kid, you dream of sort of making it to this moment, and obviously you work from the beginning of the season till now to get to this moment. But I think for us, it's there's a firm understanding that the job's not done, the job's not finished, and that we want more. We're looking to win a national championship, and obviously, we've made the right steps to get to this point now.
Tell me about this matchup with Michigan. What stands out to you about them?
They're a super great team, uber talented. They have some great size in their front court, great back court as well. They play fast. They like to, be opportunistic in transition, shoot early in the shot clock if they can. So it's just, it's just sort of mitigating their, their pace and sort of how explosive they can be, and just, sort of just bringing the fight to them.
Appreciate the time. Best of luck this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, back here in Indianapolis, the big guys down low. You mentioned Rivas and Awaka will be two of the keys going against the Michigan bigs. What about Awaka in the recent sample size out in San Jose against both Arkansas in the Sweet 16 and then the Purdue comeback that Arizona had?
So when you look at Awaka, what's fascinating is that they don't always get a lot out of him, but when they do, he is a difference maker. 14 points against Arkansas, 11 against LIU, only had 2 against Houston in the Big 12 championship. But then you look at their other games in the Big 12 tournament, 10 against Iowa State, 12 against UCF, and he went on a run where he had back-to-back 10-point games to end the Big 12 regular season. So when we talk X factors, Awaka is right there of a guy that could be that impact player. And we think about this too. Foul trouble, I think, could be a big deal in who's going to have players available early in these games. If Arizona is put in a spot where one of their key contributors gets in early foul trouble, Awaka has shown that he can get the job done, that he can step in if his name's called.
All right, interesting. On the other side for Michigan, they have pulverized teams. Now, granted, Purdue did beat them in the Big Ten championship game. And yes, Duke beat them head-to-head in February. So it's interesting that as all the talk about how unbeatable Michigan is, well, they were beatable a couple of times. Arizona has not lost a game since early February, losing to Texas Tech at home. That's the last time they have lost. Ran through the Big 12 regular season at the end, ran through the Big 12 tournament, and now here in this NCAA tournament, obviously. So let's talk a little Wolverines, though. Their depth. We talk a lot about Yaxel Lindeborg. Can we cover this? We're going to cover this again tomorrow while we're here. It's Lindeborg. There is no extra N. It's not Lindenborg. It's also Borg, like the former tennis player with John McEnroe, again, before you were born and before your parents had met. Borg, not Berg. So it wouldn't be Lindeberg. It wouldn't be Lindenberg. We got to get this guy's name right. He's the Big Ten Player of the Year. Yaxel's tough enough. Lindeborg. So Lindeborg is being counted on. Elliot Cadeau, the point guard, but maybe a guy you talked to earlier today. Why don't you lead into your conversation and who you had it with?
Yeah, let's talk about Roddy Gale Jr., the senior out of Niagara Falls, and coming off the bench for this team. This tournament, he's averaging 10.3 points per game, and he's been very good from three-point range as well, shooting about 58% for this tournament.
I think that's good.
That's outstanding. And so you watch out for Michigan with their guard play. If they need a spark, if they need somebody to go to, this might be the guy they're potentially looking for.
All right, so let's go ahead and hear from him now. This is earlier this afternoon at the Open to the Public workouts and the open locker room section. This is Tyler with a former Ohio State Buckeye who's now in the Final Four with Michigan. Hello on the storyline. You're there with Roddy Gale. We go to that now.
Tyler Jones here alongside Roddy Gale Jr. at the Final Four. Roddy, what's this experience been like for you so far, man?
It's been terrific, especially going through it with all my teammates and stuff like that. It's just been an amazing experience just to be in the moment, being in this moment that you trying to dream of as a kid, going through obviously family, community, obviously as Michigan men.
Tell me about your journey to get here. You go from the rival Ohio State here to Michigan. What convinced you to be a part of this program, and how proud are you to be a Wolverine now?
First and foremost, Coach May, I feel like he really changed my life, especially the trajectory of my career. Him being able to believe in me no matter what, and then obviously adapting to Michigan culture. I feel like just everything kind of lead up to this moment, and obviously I always have Michigan in my heart. So I'm really happy.
And your game under Coach May has evolved quite a bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Coach May really gave me the confidence and the responsibility to be able to go out there and give my all every game. And I just think that, especially because he believed in me, I owe that up to him. So I can't let him down no matter what. I feel like it's my responsibility to be able to go out there and play absolute hardest.
What stands out to you about this matchup with Arizona?
I think it's very similar to the way we play. So I know it's going to be really hard for us to be able to play really physical without fouling. I think that's really a key for us, being able to dominate in the painted area without fouling.
How confident are you guys feeling right now?
Extremely confident. I think we're the best team in the country. So I think that's just kind of the swagger we need to play with. Now, don't get froze up that, obviously it's the Final Four and, the circumstances of the game, but just being able to go out there and play free as we have prior.
Roddy, appreciate the time. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
So there you were with Roddy Gale. One of the cool things about being in those locker rooms is they had the team photo when they had posed after having won the regional. And so you had Dusty May there in the middle with a hat on smirking at you after he had cut the nets down right behind your interview. Neat stuff to be at Lucas Oil Stadium. Nice job with him. We keep talking about this, is that guy maybe an X factor? If Arizona can neutralize Elliot Cadeau, is Gale going to become more important for Dusty May's team? We wonder that. And Dusty May, again, has been through this before with Florida Atlantic 3 seasons ago. To do this with his staff and understand the time commitments, the media, the Friday practice, and getting used to the football stadium and all of that. Is that how big of an advantage is that for Michigan? What do you think?
I think it is an advantage of sorts for Michigan with Dusty May being here before. But if we're talking for the overall weekend, realistically, Danny is the only one that has a major advantage on the other three of guys that have been in this circumstance that have won championships. Michigan, Arizona, and Illinois, it's been a long time since we've talked about those programs on this stage. And so for me, that's what I'm looking at is that, yes, it is for Dusty, but only so much so, comparably speaking, big picture-wise of what Danny Hurley is with UConn.
Again, Michigan's got 27 wins, Tyler, by double figures, which is a staggering amount. I believe they surpassed the 2001 Duke national title team that beat Arizona, by the way. That's the last time Arizona was in the Final Four. That team, I believe, had 23 or 24 games that they won by double figures. I mean, if you win 15 games by double figures, especially in a power conference, we're not talking about a mid-major or a small major. You win 27 games by double figures, and they have bulldozed. You want another stat? They've bulldozed 4 teams in the NCAA tournament. They are the first team since Jerry Tarkanian's UNLV team in 1990 that won the whole thing with Larry Johnson, Grandmama, again, a little before your time, Stacey Augmon, Anderson Hunt, those guys. They scored 90 or more in 3 consecutive NCAA tournament games that year. Michigan right now on that run has scored 90 or more in the last 3 NCAA tournament games. That's high comparison. It hasn't been done in 36 years. So Michigan's been scoring. They've been winning. Give me one more thought on the matchup with Arizona here on a Friday.
I think when I look at this matchup, if this game is going to be a blowout, Michigan's winning it. If this is close, I'm putting my money on Arizona. I think that Arizona has an incredible ability to close out games and finish. And their clutch shooters have come through in the past time and time again. So for me, if we're talking game flow, one of those 2 outcomes. Now, with that said, I think this is more likely a close game. So that kind of could tell you who I have winning this game. The same team I picked to win the national championship to begin all this, the Arizona Wildcats. But folks, this one for me, like it's fascinating on top of all that, the fact that how similar they are. When you talk about the bigs, when you talk about the guards, if they were scouting this matchup earlier in the week, they should have just been playing themselves to give them the best idea of how this game is going to go.
Again, is it the de facto title game? We shall see. We're going to find out. And everybody gets caught up in hype and prisoner of the moment type stuff. There have been other Titanic semifinals. For God's sake, Tyler, we were in San Antonio last year. I love quoting the numbers and the stats. Duke was the number 1 team in the country. Duke had won 30 of their previous 31 games going into that national semifinal game. Houston had won 29 of its last 30, and Houston had run all the way through the last 8 weeks of the Big 12 regular season, had won the Big 12 tournament and run their way into the Final Four, and they were number 2 in the country. And Duke, by the way, had the presumptive number 1 player in the draft, Cooper Flagg, as well as Khan Knipple and Malawach, the big man, who they believed were going to be top 15 picks, and they all were. And Knipple's now going to be the rookie of the year in the NBA, it looks like. So that was last year's national semifinal. That was a gargantuan second game. So this isn't even maybe arguably the biggest game in the last 2 years, much less all time. It's still significant with the 2 1 seeds, but we got to be careful on we've never seen anything like this before.
Right. We have seen stuff like this before, believe it or not, folks. But I'll say this much as we're kind of wrapping up. People talk about the state of the sport, and I think the deeper discussions have been more so college football when it comes to NIL and the transfer portal. But I got to tell you, I know that people have been upset about the lack of Cinderellas in this tournament, and I understand where you're coming from. I hear you, folks. But we got 4 really good teams that are all playing fantastic basketball, and I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to sit here and moan about these 4 teams that are all very deserving of being in this position to win a national title. Arizona has been fantastic all season long. Michigan has dominated, bulldozed teams. UConn has found ways to win. And Illinois is playing their best basketball the entire year right now. I think we're setting up for a fantastic day tomorrow, and I think both matchups are pretty even too.
Big Ten gets 2 teams here. Illinois, what'd you say, Champaign, roughly 2 hours away, depending on how fast you drive.
Yes, so it might be 1.5 for me.
Detroit about 4.5 hours away, depending on how fast you drive. So there's a lot of Big Ten here, but Arizona will be here. We've seen a lot of UConn people from the Northeast. They're back again, and they travel well. And they've been in the Northeast really for the whole tournament to this point in Buffalo and Washington, D.C., at least the Eastern Seaboard. Now do they come to the heartland of Indianapolis? We're going to find out what happens. Listen, you and I have had a great time here on Friday. Let's do this again. Our colleague Ari Russell will be here, among others, on Saturday, 2 Eastern time, live on the College Basketball Coast to Coast platforms, as well as later on podcast and on TuneIn streaming. You'll get all of the coverage. Final Four preview. We'll go into more of the X's and O's of the games. Great job with the interviews today. Let's go have some fun on a Friday night and not get in any trouble. I'm in charge of not getting us in trouble. You're in charge of the good food and the fun. Deal?
Okay. That sounds like a plan to me.
All right, I love it. There's Tyler Jones.
I've already scouted out some Italian food.
Italian for tonight?
Potentially.
Potentially, all right. But at least for the weekend, we'll pace ourselves. Did you see what I did there? Pacers. We'll pace ourselves for the weekend.
Yeah, we all know what happened last summer.
That's true. Thank you for being with us here on this Friday afternoon from the Final Four. Our thanks also again to Darren Lancaster from Ghost Leaves, ghostleaves.com. Remember the promo code TJ to get 15% off with those therapeutic knee and elbow sleeves. Again, if you're only hearing us, go to ghostleaves.com to see more about them. Let's do this again on Saturday before UConn and Illinois take to the floor, followed by Michigan and Arizona. 2 teams survived to play Monday night in the title game at Lucas Oil Stadium here in Indianapolis in the Circle City. For now, we're good on college basketball coast to coast.